Will Smith and Kanye West show up, and they just go up to the rooftop and they're just smoking cigars. This is the industry, right? It's in my type of hotel. You meet the most interesting people.
Welcome to What They Say, the podcast where creative meets digital, work meets real life, and there's always a bit of chaos. Hosted by me, El.
And me, Jess.
Best friends, business partners, and co-founders of They Say Studios. Each episode mixes unfiltered conversation, cultural insight,
and the kind of laughter that comes from knowing that you're not the only one figuring it out.
Hi, hon.
Hi, are you all right?
I am all right, actually. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, had a good week. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Always. I know, it's our special time.
I know, it's like...
Fly you over from the other side of the world. Well, we're quite lucky because we get to do these when there's other things going on. So we can tag team them on. Because we've got a shoot tomorrow.
Very excited.
Surprise, surprise. No one's allowed to know who.
Shoots are always like the most fun bit when
Shoots
it all comes
are the
together.
most fun. You go very like, on it. You're like, I'm just like, whoa, she is off with the... Like that little ass just shaking around the studio. Yeah, you're like, I'll see you in 4 hours. I'm like, I'm just here for the buffet. Calm and chaos.
Yeah, oh God.
We'll start with chaos. What's your chaos of the week?
I feel like I always have to start with the chaos because then my calm always quickly follows.
Yes.
So it's like the calm.
Yes.
I've had visitors, and you'll know because you have visitors staying with you, family visitors. And it's been lovely. It's always nice, but it does mean more plate spinning because you've got to entertain and, be on. But with the visitor, being my mum, she's been enforcing potty training this week, which I really appreciate because I'm like, I was going to get round to it, Harper's too, And it helps with another pair of hands. Like, I'm working, Mum, you can take that. Take it. But it did end this week with, well, you have to, parents will know that's been through it. You have to carry a potty around with you all the time.
Physical potty?
A physical potty. For just in case, because sometimes you're in a shopping mall, you can't get to the toilet.
Is it collapsible?
No, just potty.
Full
under
potty.
The pram. If it's needed in a shop, you get it out in a shop. If it's needed on the pavement, you get it out. Like,
what?
Well, what else are you going to do?
You would just put a potty down in H&M?
Absolutely. If it's mummy, wee, need it, like you don't then carry them like just peeing.
You sure?
Well,
have you checked this out with anyone
I don't
else?
think
Have you
it's
cross-referenced
allowed.
this?
I thought you meant with the store.
No.
I think it's needs must sometimes.
Of course. I mean, no judgment from me. Go where you need to go. But
Harper this time did get caught short. She didn't tell me.
She got caught short.
Mummy poo-poo. I was like, is it already here? She's like, I was like, right, okay then. Quick, Mum. I'm just off to the toilet. No time for the potty. We're just going to the toilet because we need to just sort it out. Take the potty with us, anyway, just in case. But yeah, absolutely everywhere.
Disaster zone.
Oh
no.
And that's when you're just like, oh, did you have a few too many sweeties? Maybe
she had a Vindaloo the night before.
It felt like
you shouldn't
not
be giving
that
them
far.
to a 2-year-old. I've told you before. It's not for a 2-year-old.
I think it's the sugar just goes straight through. But it was chaos in the toilet. At that moment, I was like, I don't actually know what to do. I just threw the clothes away.
Best way. Yeah,
I wasn't carrying that around with me all day. Look, I've got plenty of clothes with me. That's just bye-bye trousers, bye-bye pants, bye-bye toddler.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave her here. I'm just going to air her off.
And she's going, oh, it's cold. And I'm like, yeah, it's cold in here because you're naked.
Because you've got no clothes left. You shitty little bean.
I'm basically hosing you down.
Oh, babe, that's the joy of Singapore, though. They do have them toilet hose at the germs that would be it. Oh, my God. Though.
No, don't. No. Then you just want to go home.
You've basically hosed her down in an arse gun.
I've hosed her down and we're all going home after that. It's like, end of the day.
Yeah, she needs a tetanus jab and a nap.
We're all going home. We're all getting in the shower and yeah.
What about your calm then?
Calm was probably guests leaving, Mum leaving. And that's not because it's just nice to have your own space back, isn't it?
Mum, we love you.
Oh yeah, come back anytime. Once a month, fine. But it's nice to I'm very much like it when I get my calm, my space back, and yeah, that's my happy place.
And Kathy's a whirlwind.
Yes, she is.
Jess's mum. She is a whirlwind. Whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
Oh,
and it's like I don't want to be like, ungrateful. It's such a help when she comes because I'm just like, actually for work, I'm like, I can fully, no mum guilt. They're with granny time's on. But having the space and being, you know, hosting, I've got a husband, I've got kids, hosting for 3 weeks or whatever is a long time.
It is.
So yeah, that's my calm and my chaos. But what about yours? What's your chaos? Oh, I feel like I know what your chaos is.
My chaos is the bike.
Yeah, no, that's
I
not
love
good.
my bike. And this is why I say the importance of a helmet, everyone. The importance of a helmet, because I was about to go out and I was thinking, I'm only going to the gym, which was like, it's a 12-minute walk, and that was only getting me bike because it was sunny. And I thought, oh, that would be nice to cycle there. And then out of nowhere, and I live in Spain, it just completely poured down. And when I say I came off, I mean, my gosh, did I? And then all I did in that moment was like, I was just in the middle of this 3-lane motorway, dual cab, whatever you call it, massive road. And I could just hear like what was the equivalent of a bus or a lorry, like a big thing. And I just thought, God, I'm going to get run over. Like I'm on the floor here. But thankfully, so my immediate thing when I came off the bike was to just look behind us and make sure that there wasn't a huge thing coming my way. But thankfully, the car behind me had stopped and the guy was getting out of the car to come and help us. But I'd really scuffed up my arm. Raw, Jess.
How's it feeling now?
All right. And me left ass. Good old naughty little bruise. But I'm all right. But I was a bit more shook up. So I rang to him. I fell off my bike. He was running down the street, like, because I'd only got like 200 metres. Bless him, he was so stressed. And the calm was actually off the back of that, is he booked me in for a beautiful pedicure at a lovely spot.
He's such a good husband.
He's an angel. He's an angel. He really is.
He does
like,
look
I've done the
after you.
research and I've made sure it's got good reviews, because he knows us gals, it needs to be, needs to be the right spot. But lovely, absolutely gorgeous pedicure.
Colour? Go for?
I went for like a little autumnal burgundy.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
It's called Whisper. And then when I said to Jonathan, he was like, oh, what colour did you pick? And I was like, it's something that I never do. And he was like, I don't know what you mean. And I was like, Whisper.
Oh, I thought you meant it's a colour that I've never
no,
go
it's
for.
something that I
and
don't
he's like,
whisper.
I don't know.
whisper.
You go for all of them.
So yeah, it's been a big ebb and flow week. It's been a big ebb and flow week, but lovely.
That's why I feel like chaos always, the calm quickly follows.
Has to.
But
thanks, babes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ayo Akinsete.
Hi, Amy Lee. Kowe.
Welcome. Kowe. Cowie Small now.
Cowie Small. Big up to my boy Jonathan.
Always. He'll be watching.
get her wed.
Yeah, actually, Jonathan.
If you like it, then you should have.
Jonathan, bro. Sure, get off the pot.
We are married. I don't know why we're making this joke, but it's
you're
landing
married?
Really. You know they are married.
Oh, yeah, I saw the picture. I wasn't invited. That's it.
Ayo. So, welcome to What They Say.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. We're actually super excited to have you today. We've got a lot of questions, but really, I'll start by introducing Ayo. And am I saying your name right? Akinsete.
Akinsete.
Oh,
If it was my mother, but I can't be bothered to correct
no, I'm
it
not
half the
letting your mother
time.
down. Ayo Akinsete.
Yes, that's how it's pronounced.
Chief Operating Officer at the Dane Group, international hospitality group, based in Ireland, but it's going to pop right off.
Right off.
And now expanding globally, which is the plan. But we'll start off with you, baby Ayo, born in, and I'm going to say this right, Ile-Ife.
Ile-Ife, that's, yeah.
Ile-Ife,
Yep, that's
Nigeria.
correct. Yep.
You've built an incredible career. I mean, your LinkedIn is like a delicious 12-course menu at some sort of Michelin star restaurant.
Okay.
Check it out.
From the US to the UK, well, UK to US, US back to UK with some Vegas bits and pieces in there. Now Ireland. So you studied hospitality in South Carolina
That's correct.
and Las Vegas.
Yes.
And then you went on to lead operations for some big old groups, right? Like ones that people would know, the Dream, Downtown, Dream Hollywood, SH Hotels and Resorts,
Yep.
Birch,
Yep.
and then later Generator and Freehand Hotels.
Yep.
So you've been around.
Been around the block.
You've been around. Now at the Dane Group,
Still going.
where I met you, and you're now shaping the next chapter of like what this kind of modern hospitality is going to look like. So leading international operations across the board for the group and redefining leadership, culture, representation. I think that's something we really want to touch on today.
Cool.
This episode specifically, though, is about making space when you're not given it, about credibility, calm confidence, and what it really takes to lead with both heart and authority. And having known you for the last 6 months and spent actually quite a lot of time with you, both in Ireland, but also on travel trips, I've seen how you are with your team, and you do get that balance bang on. So I'd love to learn a little bit about that, but can I very much just start with beginning?
Whistle stop tour.
If you were a blurb.
If I was a blurb, okay. Born in Ile-Ife, as you mentioned, in Nigeria. Came here when I was about 1 year old. Grew up in southeast London, Woolwich, which at the time was the hood, but it's been significantly gentrified now. And you go back there and you can't recognize it. So went to school in Woolwich, went to secondary school in Bexley Heath.
Yeah.
Where I was an altar boy. I was a good...
Stop it.
What?
No.
Yes, I was a good Catholic altar boy. I used to do the incense. Forgive me.
Of course, and then, you did the frankincense and the myrrh.
Yes, exactly. Yes, do you remember the song? Frankincense and myrrh.
Of course I do.
Right, anyway, so...
Convent
I went to school and I used to play football. So one of my best friends till this day, said, come and join our team. And I was like, no, I can't join. I've got church. And he kept asking me. Then I went, and then I ended up being pretty decent at football. And I went to a team called Green Park. Then went to a team called Sammy Montague. Then I got not drafted. That's the American term. I got scouted. Scouted by West Ham United. So about 11 till 18, I played for West Ham United. I left school at 16. I was a YT. Got into the reserves, and then got released. And I said to myself, what do I want to do? Do I want to go down the leagues and, schlep it out with poor facilities and no physios? But a great teacher of mine, actually still a friend of mine, Peter Harris, said, why don't you go to the US and get a scholarship? I said, what's that? Remember, I'm 18 at the time.
Yeah, you don't have them here.
Yeah, so I've been to America one time with my mum, Washington, D.C., to visit my uncle, Charles, one of my favorite uncles. And you're like, yeah, they'll pay for your education and you can play football still. So I said, okay. And thank God to my strong African mother who said, this football stuff is all fine, but you're going to do your education. So because I did do that through 16 to 18, I was able to get what they call a full scholarship to go to the US. So I got scholarships to UCLA, which is in Los Angeles, North Carolina, which is in North Carolina, and South Carolina. And the coach from South Carolina flew over and met me. I said, we'll give you a full ride. And I said, all right, I guess I'm going to this place called South Carolina.
Full ride?
They pay for everything.
Oh.
They pay for all your school fees. They give you stipends. You travel around. The facilities are A-class, unbelievable. So that's how I ended up in America. Then I kind of fell out of love of football. I didn't want to go and try and play additionally over there. So I met another professor that came. I was slouched at the back of the class like this. And she came up to me and she kicked me because I wasn't paying attention. She said, what are you doing? Kathy Nelson, rest in peace. She passed away, unfortunately. And she said, you'd be good in hotels, in hospitality. And I said, really?
Very specific.
How old were you at the time?
20, 21.
Wow.
And she said, and I didn't want to go back to the UK at the time because I was loving living life in America. And I was with my girlfriend, Sheila, at the time, who's now my wife.
We love Sheila.
And so she said, why don't you go to Vegas and do a master's? So there's two big...
I mean, that is a sentence. That should be the name of your book. Why don't you go to Vegas and do a master's?
Why not?
Yeah, so there's two big hospitality schools, Cornell, which is renowned, and then there's UNLV because it's in Vegas, and Vegas is one of the hospitality capitals of the world. So I moved to Vegas and I did a master's. And then through a really random series of events, I ended up going to Turks and Caicos.
As you do.
As you do, because one of my good friends had just done really well in the Olympics, and we were flying around, and so we went to Turks and Caicos, and I met this owner of a hotel called the Gansevoort. And I realized I didn't like the casino aspect of hospitality. So because the owner of the company was trying to impress my friend, he was being really nice to me. So I stayed in contact with him, and he said, why don't you move, after I finished my master's, he said, why don't you move to New York and open a hotel? I said, what does that even mean? He said, just come over and just open a hotel. So I packed up a U-Haul and we convinced a few of our friends, me, Sheila, and a couple of our friends. We said, we're moving to New York. Do you fancy it? We're like 22-year-old kids. We're 20, how old am I then? Like 22, 23. So we'll just move to New York and I get into the hotel business. And
how many of you were actually like, yeah, sure?
there was like 4 of us. We just moved to New York. We're just...
That is so... That's so random.
That's the story.
And so did you know yourself that you loved hospitality? As soon as you started to learn about it, did you think, oh,
I
this
knew
is a vibe?
that I really liked working with people and having a North Star that we were all chasing. And it kind of reminds me of my football team, right? It's really collaborative. You have these coaches, you have agents, you have physios, you have and then you have a leader, and some of my teams, I was the captain, and I just liked that camaraderie of it all. And a lot of the things that I did there translated into hospitality. And then I just fell in love with it. You know, they came in and you saw how you'd make guests happy and they would leave and you'd create these stories and they'd create these memories. I was obsessed.
You are very good at it.
I was obsessed.
And it is you say this to me, you're like, it's like you come into my house. And it is, I think, when you host anyone, not just me or Jess, but anyone, you get a buzz from it. And I love being a host at home. It's like one of my favourite things to do. Any excuse to like just chop up some naughty little tomatoes, drizzle them up. And
You're
like,
obsessed with
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
I'm obsessed with tomatoes at the minute. But like, honestly, I see that. And there's a beauty of hospitality. And then you basically just compound it over and over when you start thinking about hotels.
I say this all the time to people that know me. I say this all the time. Hospitality really is innate within all of us. There's this guy that I am obsessed with called Danny Meyer. He's a savant. He's a god in the business. And he had this book called Setting the Table. And his first line summed up the whole business for me, right? He wrote, I'm going to butcher it slightly, but he wrote, you know, the purest form of hospitality is when a child comes into the world. If you think about what a child, if they come into the world healthy, what they get warm eyes from a mother. They have all of these people smiling, standing there. They get food and a hug. It's hospitality. And that's why we all seek it out every day. Nobody walks around with a sign saying, treat me badly. Right.
I love that story.
That's going to make me think about going into these spaces totally differently now and be like, yeah, tick, 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 tick.
Like, you've made me feel something.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm in the business of, I sell fun. I sell feelings. I create stories and memories for people.
That's another name for your book.
That's what I tell the team. And we always, we overcomplicate things. I don't have the nuclear codes, and I'm not self-solving. I'm not curing cancer. I'm creating memories. Fundamentally, in my style of hotel, that's what we do. It's not a commodity, right? When you go to, if you're a business traveler, you go here, you book a certain type of hotel, 3-star hotel. It's a commodity. You need a bed. You need somewhere to sleep that's quiet.
Yeah.
If you pick one of
Shower,
my assets, it's because you're looking for something different.
Else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
An experience.
Before we get to that, what I really wanted to cover today is about like carving out space. So particularly at the time you were also British in America, black guy from Nigeria, had come over on a football scholarship, then started. I know because you've touched on a couple of moments, but with me on a personal level about things that you'd experienced, but something we really wanted to cover today is how you carved out space for yourself for who you are now. You're not seeing 50 of you. So like, what have you done and what have you had to go through, I suppose, to actually continue to carve this space out for yourself and now the role that you've got today?
I think there's a couple of things, right? I believe I have the skill set to get to where I am. In my role, you have to have an element of charisma. You have to be able to walk into a room and command the attention of lots of team. And then also, you have to have some element of luck, right? It's lucky that I ended up being in America as a British black guy, which was really rare in a place like South Carolina. Right. So, and I'll be really honest with you. I was like an exotic car. I pulled up, people, we all know the history in the South of America. And I pull up, I'm this black guy, and then I start talking. People are like, what are you?
Instantly more interested in like
what?
And I said, what's going on here? I said, what do you mean, what am I? I said, I'm black. And they said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. They said, why do you talk like that? I said, talk like what? I cannot make this up. And people were just fascinated with the fact that I was black and I was English, because it was almost like they didn't realize that we existed over here.
Like a mad hybrid, as if like it's something interesting.
Yeah, so that part of it was really interesting. And then again, it just continued through my career, even when I got into major cities like New York or when I was in Vegas, people were still interested, right? And then I had people that helped me along the way. I had mentors. I had people that were like, they put my color aside and they said, this guy's got a bit about him. He can bring something to the table. He works hard. He seems to understand what the business is. And with all of those three elements combined, it allowed me to really climb up the ladder. And also I'm a bit of an overachiever. You know, there's been elements in my life where people said, oh, you're probably not qualified for that role. You're too young to be a GM. And that I was like, okay, really? And I always took that
Watch me.
And I was just like, watch me. So, I was a GM when I was 28 years old in our business of a property that was doing $70 million a year. And in our business, that's unheard of. So I just, I did I'm a big believer in active listening. I'm a big believer of learning what not to do. So some of my greatest lessons, I have watched people make mistakes. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And you talk about leadership. I'm like, I'll be in meetings and you see the way people make people feel. When you look at them, I'm like, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, note to self.
Note to self. And I'm just continuously trying to, I'm a student of the game.
Yeah.
I'm continuously trying to learn and get that edge. And one thing one of my mentors told me is that you might be smarter at me at something, but you're never going to outwork me. And that's really paid dividend over the years. And then if I'm being honest, if I was here, I don't know, listen, I can't go back in the past, but I don't know if I am where I am today if I had tried to come up in hospitality here. Because doors were opened for me there because obviously I was qualified, but people were just fascinated by the fact that I was a black English guy.
Did that give you confidence, do you think? Like from an early state, like, oh, people are actually listening to me?
No, slightly. I consider myself quite a confident guy, playing.
I've never picked up. I think you're very kind of like super mellow and...
I think I'm a quite, I believe humility is very important, but I always say, and I say to my kids and I say to my team members, back yourself. If you don't back yourself, no one else is going to. So, you
may as well.
You might as well. I like
Yeah.
myself and I'm going to back myself and I believe I can do something and I have goals and I'm going to achieve them because, my biggest fear is not trying, and looking back and saying, oh shit, being 18, like, I never tried.
I could have done
You
harder.
regret what you didn't try
Exactly.
or you didn't do more than you regret doing it or giving it a go and failing.
100%.
Exactly.
You mentioned about the three, you mentioned about things that you've learned along the way that you wouldn't want to do, or things that maybe would just it made you think, I would totally do that different. What are the top things? You mentioned one being around how people speak, but would you mind going into a few things as a leader now? I mean, you've got a lot of people now that report to you.
Don't let your bad mood ruin the team's day. I've worked in environments where you have a leader that the entire team's day is based on how that leader comes in. Is that person upset today, and is everyone going to walk on eggshells? So you have to compartmentalize that, and you have to come in with the same energy every day so the team have consistency and they're not worried about how you're going to feel. Don't embarrass people in public. That was another thing that I learned. One of my properties, I won't say where, but you'd have the leader who would just blow up and just embarrass people, and they go into a shell, and then suddenly you don't get the best out of them. And don't ask anyone to do something that you won't do yourself. I know it's kind of cliche, but it's true. When I was a GM, I would go strip rooms and make beds. I would go work at the front desk. I'm around and about, because then what happens is that they're like, oh, if this guy's doing this, he's the boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I better do it as well, right? And then and you get people's respect. And like, okay, this guy's about his business. He's telling me to do this, but he'll do it also.
How do you stay calm though when you are, because you are a very active character, you're incredibly interesting. I would imagine some people might find you intimidating. How do you, and I've actually had the same because I'm quite a loud person, How do you do calm leadership? What does calm leadership look like for Ayo now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey, and it's been a journey. It's something I work on every day. This year I started meditation, which has really helped me. I'm a big believer in being able to practice empathy, having empathy. And I have this thing where if I get upset about something, and I had to do it, it was when I was actually a front desk agent. I used to be quite sassy at the desk.
Did you now? Give us some examples.
Yeah, if you said something I didn't like, I would be like, I would.
You mean if I'm a guest?
Yeah, if you're a guest, you know.
So I'll be one. I'm going to come at you. My room smells of shit. And I also think it looks like shit.
Lovely.
Miss, what, the last name, please?
Cowie Small.
Miss Cowie Small. Please accept my apologies for that. Is it specifically a certain area of the room? I see you are booked in one of our suites.
The whole thing, it's just not for me. It's not what I expected for what I've paid.
So in that scenario, the old Ayo, I would have I would have probably been like, we checked the room personally. I checked the room. It was checked by a housekeeper that was our number one employee. The room doesn't smell of. But then as I started to grow in my career, I had to understand that maybe this person who's saying that has saved up all year for this holiday. And this holiday is their entire...
That's their year's savings.
So being able to practice empathy and being able to put myself in their shoes.
Yes.
And then trying to diffuse the situation versus taking it personally.
And being defensive.
Yeah. That was really early on in my career.
Something I still find. I'm such an emotional person.
Yeah.
Very sensitive. I wouldn't change it. It's who I am. It's sort of actually got me certain places, but I do find I feel really personal when someone says something, especially if you know you've done such a good job and it's something I'm working on. So what would you tell me? You've actually given me a little bit of mentoring.
It's not about
before,
you. It's them. It's not. But I always say, try and put yourself in their shoes. Why are they thinking like this? Have they had a bad day? Is something going on in their life that is terrible? How can you? And especially in my business, how can I help? And that goes back to, if I can turn this situation around. Yeah. I've created a positive memory in that person's mind, and they're going to go away and share that story, and then they're going to want to come back to what we do. So really putting yourself in their shoes, practicing empathy. And then, you know what? Some people are just miserable. And the best way I found to deal with them, I'm going, this is what I'm going to, I've tried that, you try that. What is it that you're looking for, Amy? And you'll see what happens. It's, well, what is it you're looking for? What do you want?
I want 10% off.
No problem. Happy to do that.
She's like, oh, okay, I got what I wanted, right. And now I'm like, yeah.
And I've said this a couple of times. And if you can't, you know what, Amy, I don't think we're the right property for you, but I'm happy to find somewhere else for you to stay that will be more to your liking. Ooh. That usually throws people.
That's spicy, but I like it.
I'm still trying to help you.
Yeah.
We can't deliver what you're looking for. Let me assist you. And that way you can't say anything negative about me. You can't say I wasn't rude. I helped you.
Yeah.
I helped you.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back to mentorships, because actually you've touched on that you've had a lot of mentors, and maybe you still do. Do you push that with your teams? Like, do you feel like you want to be a mentor, you know?
I love mentoring. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. We just started a program actually at the Dean Group, which is a women in leadership program, and we just started a mentorship program.
Amazing.
And I've got a lovely young lady called Maeve from Cork, and she wants to be a better leader. She said she wants to be a better manager. And I posed her a question: do you understand the difference between a manager and a leader? They're two different things, you know. So we're going through that process, and one of my favorite things is to see people that I've been able to help and their careers, you know, grow. And to this day, I have some of my best friends I still work with and mentor, and we've become friends now, but they still call me from LA or New York and be like, hey, I've got this gig coming up. What do you think about this? How should I approach this? You know, I had someone reach out to me from a hotel here the other day, and she was saying to me, you know, the company has offered me X. I believe I'm worth Y. And I, you know, gave her a little paragraph of things to say. I texted her a couple of weeks later and I said, what happened? She said she got her money. Yeah. Things like that, things like that really give me a lot of joy.
Yeah. And it comes from experience as well. Like you're sharing constantly and.
Yeah, you've got to pass things along, as you know, when you're younger, it's all about just making money. I want to make money. I want to make. Yeah. Then suddenly you get older and you're like, you get to like 41 as I am and you're like, oh, life is, I'm not going to sit here and say money's not important, but there's other things that really bring joy to my life. And it's, my kids, my wife, my family, my friends, developing people, trying to do something where, when you leave, you're like, okay, when you leave the world, you're like, okay, I did a bit here. I did something. Yeah. And people say this all the time, that it's not, people don't really remember what you say, it's what you do.
Yes.
Right? So.
When I want to touch on cultural intelligence, because you mentioned about sort of, you've worked in different hotels with very different styles, different vibes, different guests. I think hospitality, and the reason we so wanted to speak to you today is that it is one of the most fascinating verticals that we as a studio have worked on in the last 18 months, where you just learn so much because it's for people. So it's, you can work on product and you can work on service and everything between, of course, but hospitality specifically has to be about an experience that someone's going to have physically when they're in a space. How do you, apart from working with us, how do you work with your teams internally and anyone else you may work with to really get under the skin of what is culturally intelligent in a certain hotel? Because you've got the Dean Group, which is Ireland, but you're opening up in other places. Like how do you even tap into that?
You have to ingratiate yourself in the neighborhoods that you're going to open your hotel and really get under the belly of the belly of the city, right? So, for example, we're opening a hotel in Miami. One of the things, we've got a great location. We're going to have a great asset, but really we want to ingrain ourselves into that community and really get locals to come. If you get the locals to come, the tourists will follow. So really, honestly, it's not brain surgery, but it does take time. It's really about going there, understanding the market, eating and drinking and meeting people, listening, active listening. Don't go in there with preconceived ideas of what you're going to add. This is a mistake people make. We're going to go into this market, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But is that what the market wants?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like you can't just carbon copy and go like, it works here, I'm just going to put one there and put one there.
Exactly. Is that what that works in some instance, right? If you've got a global brand that's just everybody wants everywhere. But for the most part, if you've really got to understand what's going on, and to some sense, the property that you build, you want it to bleed that city, right? You want it to have that city's DNA, and you have to really do that with the people that live there and have experienced there. So really spending a lot of time there, meeting people, being a nice person, not trying to get information without. It's like sometimes things that can be quite transactional. And businesses often lead with that too early versus just having a chit chat. I've been going back and forth to Miami. I've met loads of people and I haven't wanted anything from them. Can I just get some advice? And people are always happy to give advice, right?
People
for the most part.
To give
people
advice.
love.
We loved it. Our mentor a lot. Now, people get something from it. People like helping people.
Exactly.
The world is not as hideous as we sometimes
get on the grain of the city. Get to know the DNA of the place, and then make decisions from there.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next section, I have to know, because it's hospitality, just one bit of gossip. We don't need to know the hotel. We don't need to know the brand, but any sort of just absolutely mad moment where it was a hideous request or like an insane setup or just something mad that happened. But it can be, I feel like you've got a lot there because you had
it's hotels. All sorts of things happen in hotels. Oh no, that's
it can be from the early days.
Yeah, don't worry. We won't quote anyone.
I remember. No, I can't say that one.
Yes, you can.
No,
say
I can't.
This is a safe space. No one's listening.
I can't say that one.
We hope there will be.
I remember. I don't know how big this is. If this ends up getting really big, though, this podcast, I don't want to get in trouble.
We'll not. It could be any one of your gazillion bits on your CV.
Or it could be a story from someone else that you've heard.
A friend told you.
A friend told you, yeah. A close friend.
There's so many. Hold on.
I love it. There's so many.
Which one? No, that's a sad one.
We don't want a sad one.
No, you don't want a sad one.
Let's keep it upbeat.
Oh man. Okay, I'll give you a fun one.
Yeah.
Fun one.
Lovely.
Open a hotel called Dream Downtown.
Oh, right, we're going straight in.
Oh, straight in.
Dream Downtown.
Yeah, we'll go Dream Downtown. So I'm the director of front office at the time there. We'd open it to, quite a lot of, we were partnered with a group called Tao, and it opened to quite a lot of fanfare. I remember I was at the front desk, as you are. This bloody guy comes in on a bike to the lobby.
A motorbike?
A bicycle.
bike.
In the middle of a brand new
New
hotel.
lobby.
Security jumps up. What's going on here? Da-da-da-da. And I take it, I go, oh my God, I know that person. I'm like, guys, chill out, back off. Look up, I'm like, oh, how can I assist you? How can I assist you, sir? And he's like, hi, I'm Jay. And I'm like, oh, I know who you are. So Jay-Z fucking just rolls into my lobby.
No.
Yeah. Because I got a few friends
On
coming
a bike?
on a bicycle. I go, how can we help, sir? No problem. Got some friends coming over. No problem. Wait over there. Will Smith and Kanye West show up. And they just go up to the rooftop and they're just smoking cigars. And this is the industry, right? It's in my type of hotel. You meet the most interesting people. I've met some really interesting people. That was a tame story, but it was one that's PG.
I'm picturing them all coming on bikes too.
Yeah,
it was just so random.
all on their bikes.
Yeah, all on their bicycles. That's insane. I appreciate PG when we're not recording. I want the non-PG
I got some
version,
great ones.
The 18
I
plus.
got some great ones. I got some savage ones.
18 plus, 21 plus.
I got some ones that are actually currently being they're out in the world right now, but on in newses and stuff.
Stop it.
No.
Yeah, I've got some receipts.
Some court cases.
I got some receipts. I love a receipt.
Maybe with our next receipt, we can go to the Maldives.
There you go.
Ayo,
Is that up there?
thank you. It's time for our favourite part
Okay.
of the show.
This is easy.
This is easy.
This is easy. You've got all the answers.
And you're great for this because it's speedy. It's called They Say, We Say. So it's where we take the myths, the cliches, the mantras of the leadership world, the things people love to say, and we say what actually holds up in real life. So we're going to throw through your way.
I'm going to start.
Yeah, and you tell us what you say. So Jess can start.
They say representation is powerful. What do you say?
While it is powerful, I think there needs to be a fair playing ground where everybody has the same opportunities to get forward.
Yes. That is a very good point.
I think we've all seen this, but we all don't start off at the same place on the 100-meter line, right? There's some people are 5 yards back, some people are 10 yards back, some people for a variety of reasons. It can be where you were born, it can be your color, it can be your race, it could be your creed, it could be your sexuality, but some people start at the front and some people start here, and some of us have to work much harder to get up to that to try and win that race. Yeah, my thing is that representation shouldn't just be because we want representation. It should be representation because everyone here has something to bring to the table, and it's the best person or people for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Spot on. They say diversity drives creativity. What do you say?
100%. I mean, people have different lived experiences and come from different places. So that can also bring out different and great ideas. I'm a big believer that the best ideas will always float to the top. So if you have a diverse group of people with different experiences, you're going to get different outcomes, versus if you have a homogenous group of people, you're going to get the same outcome. That's kind of why I came to you guys, right? Because when we were doing things, usually hospitality, we go to hospitality people, and I didn't want any hospitality people for what we do, because everybody eats, everybody drinks, everybody sleeps. And
Yes.
and fashion people drink, art people drink, tech people drink, hospitality. So why don't you get some of their thoughts versus just hospitality, where we're in this reconfirming echo chamber? We're like, that's cool. We're like, yeah, that's cool. And we're like, actually, no, that sucks.
Yeah.
What does that
And
person
they
think?
did that last week.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you can
Just
get
a
inspiration
laggard.
from anywhere. Like, why does it have to be the same forwards?
Yeah.
But yeah. Next one. They say calm leaders finish last. What do you say?
I say you have to have ebbs and flows in your leadership style. Sometimes it requires a calm approach, and sometimes it requires a level of intensity to get things
Yeah.
done. You know, right now I'm in a business that's a startup, while there are elements of things where I have to be very calm and very methodical and have a cool head, sometimes we just need to get shit done.
Yeah.
And you need a level of intensity to do that. And the train is going to leave the station. I say this to my team, the train has left the station one stop to greatness.
I'd be saying, get me on board. First class ticket.
You either get on board,
Yeah.
or you take the slow coach, and I'll meet you there. We'll hug and kiss, but I got something to do.
Yes. God, I love it. They say inclusion starts at the top. What do you say?
Inclusion starts at the top. Yeah, I guess so, because the top is the people that are making the decisions, right? So yeah, it does start at the top, and you have to open up doors for people and be willing to bring people along the journey. So yeah, my front desk agents or housekeepers, they don't have the ability to morph the way the company is going. So the people at the top of the company have to make a pathway for them to do that.
They say you have to fit in to lead.
No, you don't. What do you mean you have to fit in? What does that even mean? I go to conferences and I look like this. Everyone else there is in
They're jealous.
Everyone else is in suits and ties. And while I used to wear suits and ties, that's just not me. And it's not what we're trying to create as a brand. And while I don't fit in, when we sit down and we talk, I'll fit in because I know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah.
Best answer yet. Finally. We're not done, but it's a final quick fire.
Fine.
They say leadership means being the loudest voice. What do you say?
It's not correct. Leadership is knowing when to have the loudest voice. Leadership is when knowing to listen. Leadership is when knowing to not to give the answer and let the team member get the answer. So no. And listen, that's coming from someone who usually does have the loudest voice. And it's something that I try to actively work on, to just sit there and listen. So no, leadership is not the loudest voice. It's
totally agree.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like even when we're in rooms, and I have to make a conscious effort because I am naturally wanting to just be like, oh, all the time, is some of the best ideas come from the people that don't say much.
Yeah.
And then you're like, shit, it's because you've been thinking about that for like an hour and everyone was talking over you.
Or they were listening to the room.
Yeah.
As a leader, for me, one of my things, the power for me is all in asking the right questions. There's a lot of power in just asking the right questions.
There's so much power in the right questions, particularly if it's somebody that clearly isn't always forthcoming.
Yeah, because you can open up their mind.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Oh, whoa, actually.
They even start questioning themselves things they wouldn't have asked. It's like leading questions, but in a good way. Before we move on to the really delicious bit, the Dean Group, I'd love you to get, because I just think and our listeners and the people that have engaged with us already on social about the podcast and sent us messages and emails, a lot of them are brand founders, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and have all said like, oh my God, what are you going to cover? And I know that if I'm them, what they're going to want to know is like, what are you doing with this new hotel group? What's different, Ayo? How are you doing things differently? And what's going to make the Dean Group the place to be? What's going to make it be the partner that people want to work with?
What we're trying to do, the lifestyle hospitality area is quite crowded right now. Everybody talks about lifestyle and culture and all of these type of things, right? And what we're trying to do, we're trying to go back to a time when it was really lifestyle and it was really about curation of cool spaces with interested and interested people. And where everything is not over manufactured like it is today with with social media, and everything is so perfect and we are going back to the days of embracing the imperfections. We are going back to the days of true gracious hospitality where, people are not robots, and we're fortunate that we are a small group that are well backed, that we have that creative space that we're allowed to really do that. And what we're really excited about is exporting Irish hospitality across the world. There's no other brand really that has come out of Ireland that has gone global. And if you think about it, Ireland, the tiny country it is, punches so far above its weight. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And I went to a museum recently and I understand why and what happened, and the famine they had and everybody scattered all over the world. So we're trying to export that without being too on the nose, shamrocks and leprechauns or whatever. And we're trying to be, but we do want to bottle up the magic that we find in Ireland and export it. And we think there's a real opportunity there to do that.
And when you stay at the Dean hotels. I think that does come across, but what you've got planned is amazing. And I know you can't say too much about the new places that are opening, but
I can.
Can you?
Munich, Berlin, Miami. We'll see you there.
See ya.
We will absolutely see you there.
Yeah.
Munich is a joke. And I think what you're bringing in, we're meeting a guest later who is in the process of building a non-alcoholic drinks brand. And she talks a lot about brand and the importance of brand. What's your view on brand?
What's my view on brand? I think that, it's, people spend a lot of time trying to create these brands and the logos and the color palettes and all of this stuff, and fundamentally forget the purpose of creating something is to create something that people want, and to either be additive to a space or fill a white space. And I always say this to my guys all the time, my team. I'm like, we can talk about all of this branding stuff we like. We can sit here in our think tanks and we can opine and we can be thought leaders. But whatever this brand is, someone has to deliver it. And that requires people. So the key is, whatever you're doing, are the people that have to deliver it, do they understand what the North Star is?
Bought in.
Are they bought in from top to bottom? So I'm really excited right now. We're redoing our employee branding. And we didn't sit in a room and say, this is what we think our values should be. We interviewed 500 team members and distilled why they love working for the Dean brand. And then we're going to take that, put it onto paper, and then we're going to build it in a place that we can talk about it. And we're going to ensure that it is lived and not laminated. Right?
Another lovely name for a book. Live and don't laminate.
Too often that happens. People talk about things and then they don't live it. It's laminated in the back of house somewhere. It's on your website, but you're not really living it.
We want to embody it.
And did anyone ever read it? Or maybe they did on the first day and then that's it. Like,
exactly.
I did.
What are you doing daily to live those values or whatever the brand is?
Well, we are so excited. We've already been on quite a journey with the
Dean
Group, and we've got a lot more going. So watch this space. The last part of the show, the last brief.
The last brief.
So before you go, I was going to say just before you go, but before you start going on to opening new doors, new restaurants, new bars, hiring new teams, it's time for the last brief. And this is the one that isn't about what you do, but why you do it.
So if you could take one last brief in your life, a brand, a cause, a mission, whatever that might be, whatever you want it to be really, that captures everything you've learned about leadership, inclusion, making space for others, everything we've talked about basically, what would that brief be?
One brief.
Just one.
This is one brief because I'm about to retire, one brief because I'm about to die.
Oof, great question. I think we'll go retire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
I think
less.
we'll go retire. Wowzers, yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you the question. I'm getting asked. Okay, it would be to create a brand or a hotel where at every touch point you create a lasting positive memory, whether it be online in the shop window online, whether it be when you walk into the front of the hotel, whether you're walking around the corridors, whether you're that for me would be magic. Yeah. If every interaction could be done in an authentic way though, not because they've read a book and it's like, oh, you must say this at this point, you must use the guest name 3 times. It would take a lot of, and it would probably have to be quite small, but yeah, that would be.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I feel like you could do that too.
You can do that.
Before you retire.
It's on the docket. It's like comprooms. It's on the docket. It's on the docket.
We want to be there at the launch event.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm launching that one.
Yeah.
Ayo, that's it for What They Say. Thank you so much for joining us today, for your honesty, as always, for your insight. I think reminding us what leadership actually is and where you've got to through challenges and being able to kind of like really insert yourself and actually do a really bloody good job. I think that's
I'm the king of
incredibly
inserting
impressive.
myself.
And backing yourself.
You got to back yourself. You know, I always say to you, it's not the dress rehearsal. Unless you know something I don't know. I mean, I think you croak and then I don't know what happens, right? But you've got back yourself.
You get one.
It's not the dress rehearsal. Enjoy your life.
Enjoy. I love that.
enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
Shout out to Ruth Lindenbaum, life coach. That's her one.
Is it?
Enjoy your life.
If you've enjoyed being part of this conversation, follow They Say Studios on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and tell us what you say. We love hearing your take.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. There's plenty more to come.
Goodbye, everyone.
Toodaloo.
Bye.